time on tour. City have just taken the lead there. Brilliant timing. Thank you very much, Antoine Semenyo. I am still joined by Sean Wright-Phillips and Nedum Onuoha. And Nedum, I'm just going to say it straight away. I think Antoine Semenyo was watching your curling video, the way he slid in there at the end.
No, it's a bit better than me, to be honest. But what a big goal. I think that first half, it's fair to say, wasn't perfect. But I think the fact they can be resilient and then score like that is amazing.
Yeah, I feel like we can split that first half into 30 minutes, 25-30 minutes at the first, which was kind of dominant Leeds, lots of pressure from Leeds, lots of physicality. And then the last 15 minutes, as we saw City grow into the game, Leeds started sitting back with you know, all their men behind the ball, and we were growing into it, I think it's fair to say, Sean.
Yeah, totally. I think you have to understand when you go to a place like Leeds, that is what you come up against. If you can withstand that pressure for the 15-20 minutes and try and breathe and grow into the game, as you said, hopefully you'll get chances after, and that was one of our chances, and we just happened to score from it. And
we did score from it. So it was Rayan Aït-Nouri with the assist, a lovely squared ball right across the box, loving seeing that from him, and then the Antoine Semenyo finish. Is he in your FPL team?
He actually is.
Of course he is. Me too. Me too. Well happy with that. And of course, everybody in here, Carlsbad inside Oslo, was absolutely made up with that as well. Let's have a look at the reaction here when Antoine Semenyo took that goal. Let's have a look. There you go. You're on TV, Oslo. You're on TV. Can we talk about the ball there, the run from Rayan Aït-Nouri and the ball straight, the square ball across the box, Nedum?
Yeah, it was a great ball, but also it's the 1-2 before it. I think the link-up on that side has been quite crucial, because going past the Bogle on that right side has been difficult. But what I love as well is as the ball went into the box, we're very used to seeing one Erling Haaland in that space. So to be able to see someone else in there was massive. So yeah, it's a sigh of relief. I celebrate like that. Honestly, you didn't see me, but I was going crazy as well. So thank you very much for that.
4 goals now, 4 Premier League goals for Antoine Semenyo in 7 Premier League games for City. Obviously, we knew statistically that he had a lot of assists, he had a lot of goals, but even you, were you expecting that he would come in with such a bang?
I think you would expect him to get the chances, and you've seen that he's clinical, but you weren't expecting him to have the impact as quickly as he has done for Manchester City. He's kind of just slot in seamlessly. And I was saying to Nedum behind the curtain, his mentality, even though he's a winger, he's got a mentality of a striker in terms of where he needs to be in the box, whereas I had the mentality as a winger rather than a striker. So I most probably wouldn't even have been in that position.
But he was, and he slid in like that professional curler we were watching earlier. It was brilliant. Nedum, I'd like to talk about the way City are playing without Erling Haaland, because of course we got the news before the game that he wasn't in the squad today. We're hoping that he will be back for the Forest game midweek, fingers crossed. But how are City playing differently without him?
I think there are times when Marmoush and Semenyo are a little bit wide in terms of when City are attacking, and I'll be completely honest, it does feel like this is a great big Norwegian that's missing from that side. You know, somebody whose specialist thing is scoring those goals and occupying centre-halves. But I think the manager has tried to tweak things around a little bit, and I think that's why they've had really good possession. But I think there needs to be a bit more creativity. It's great that they've got 1-0 lead, but you can't really hold on to that. So I think maybe he'll try and change something in the second half.
We've had a message through on YouTube. Thank you for always for your comments on YouTube. But one that stood out to us there, a message from Kun, which I don't think is actually Sergio Aguero, although I do pray that he watches this show. Perhaps somebody that's named himself after the great man himself. And Kun has said, a KDB-style masterclass from Turkey. What do you make of that comment?
I wouldn't necessarily agree with it, if I'm totally honest. I don't think there's been those passes aimed at people, because there's nobody making those sort of movements, so those options haven't been there to put on, for me, a KDB masterclass. But we do have Ryan Cherky that can do that.
Do that. In terms of that first half an hour that I was talking about, Nedum, it felt to me, I mean, certainly in the first 10 or 15 minutes, the pressure was all Leeds. It felt like they came out and the plan was hit them quickly, be aggressive, get in their face. The crowd was loud, they were physical, they were forcing us into errors. You know, Rayan Aït-Nouri with an error that was a shot, and then, you know, Donnarumma had a couple of good saves as well. That was kind of what we were expecting from Leeds. Or is that what you were expecting to see from him in those opening sort of 15-20?
Yeah, I think so. And I think when you go to places like Ellen Road, especially with them having their tails up, you do have to make sure that everything at the start is done well, so you can quieten the crowd down a little bit. I think they got that as the half was progressing. But that first period, so many like uncharacteristic errors from players who, you know, don't really do that type of thing, and it offered lots of encouragement. And with that, we saw the chance for Calvert-Lewin, we saw the chance for Aronson, and you saw them pushing with belief. But I'll be honest with you, one thing that City I think did well in that half is they continue to try and keep the ball, and there's no player that wants to play a game without the ball itself. So you could see that they were a bit downhearted, and I think for them to be 1-0 down at half-time, the manager will tell them, you know, you guys, you're doing great, but the fact is, you know, we all know City can do better in that second half, so it's going to be even tougher for them.
Yeah, 25 minutes in, City had 66% of the possession, but hadn't had a single touch in the Leeds box. But that doesn't worry me, because obviously I know this team and I know this club, and it was a sense that we've had in quite a few games where it's just felt like patience. Just be patient. I didn't feel like Leeds were going to continue that level of intensity for the 45, and they didn't.
Normally I would say just be patient, but Haaland's not on the pitch, so I didn't see where that chance was originally coming from until that great piece of play down the left-hand side with Nori and obviously Semenyo being in the right place at the right time. But if they keep making those movements and runs in the box, there will be more chances.
Nico O'Reilly had a couple of chances again. He's becoming a real threat up front, Nedum.
Yeah, he's class. I think the header that he had, the timing of it was similar to the goal, I think, against Newcastle. So you thought that back of the net was going to bulge, and he unfortunately mistimed it just that little bit. But I think he's needed to have that presence. Just because Erling's there doesn't mean that other people can't get into those positions. And to see him in there, like, he's a class act, and you just know he's going to keep getting better.
Who else has stood out for you from a City perspective in that first half?
For me, I'm a massive fan of Gahey. I know there was one incident where you could kind of say maybe it was his fault where he has to chase Dominic back, but in terms of just defending, controlling, his composure on the ball moving forward, I think he plays a key part in our build-up, especially getting the ball to Rodri.
Yeah, and Donnarumma as well made a couple of big saves. You know, these were very much needed, and that's something that he's done, you know, from the moment he's arrived. So, you know, he gives you the chance, and other people ahead give you the game.
There was a save that he made as well. I forget the Leeds player. It looked offside, actually, when they pulled it back. But in the moment, we didn't know that. And it was a good low save from
Aronson, yeah, exactly, yeah. Like, when Aronson was running through 1v1, firstly, he never seemed to get the ball really out of his feet well enough to dictate where the ball's going to go. And I think Donnarumma, with all his experience, knew that. So I think he closed the angle off. And that's a big body to try and get past. So I was backing him 100% at that point.
So in terms of the second half, are you expecting Leeds to come out again with that level of intensity, or do you think that I mean, it's going to force them to? They can't sit back like they did in the last 15. They're going to have to go for it.
Well, they're at home, so it's only normal that they do that. The only problem is, I think the City that come out in the second half will be playing tactically a little bit different, so that might catch them off guard. And also, the more open they are, the better it is for us. So that might also play into our hands as well.
I agree, and I think one thing to remember about Leeds is, for as much as they've been in good form in the last few weeks, they're still fighting for their lives down near the bottom. So if City take 3 points from Ellen Road today, I promise you they're going to deserve it.
Absolutely. Okay, so we are, of course, as we say, live here. We're in Carlsberg. We are in Oslo, in Norway. And we are going to do here a little treat for everybody that's come out today to support us, the official supporters clubs and all the amazing fans out here. Because we have a Ruben Dias signed shirt that we are going to give away to some lucky winner inside Carlsberg. Now, I'm going to ask my glamorous assistant to come on with a raffle bucket, and we're going to ask Sean and Nedum to draw a ticket and to give the shirt out. So everybody that came to the event today here at Carlsberg was given a raffle ticket when they came in. Who would like to win a Ruben Dias signed shirt? Okay, get your raffle tickets out. By the way, I feel like that we could. I feel like that. Hold on, don't read it out. I feel like we can do better. Yeah. Who would like to win a Ruben Dias signed shirt? That's all we wanted. Okay, who's got the ticket?
I've got a ticket,
Nedum,
and it is 417.
417. Who is it?
Who's got that?
417 at the back. All the way at the back. Okay, come on, come down.
Yes.
Come down. We're literally the furthest away point in the whole venue, and the person has won. We're going to get them to come down now to collect their Ruben Dias signed shirt. Earlier in the show as well, we gave away an Erling Haaland signed shirt as well. Somebody lucky in here as well. Right, how are they doing? Where are they? They're on their way. They're coming. Oh, he's run down. He's run all the way down.
He's walked into the coach. Yellow card.
Congratulations. Well done. What's your name?
Sofiso.
Sofiso, turn that way. Sofiso has won a Ruben Dias signed shirt. How happy are you?
Very excited. I'm so happy. Yay.
Oh, we are happy that you're happy. Give me a score prediction.
Well, like, it's going to finish like
Oh,
3-1.
We just had some bad news.
What?
What's your ticket?
Safiso hasn't won. Hold on. Oh, there's controversy here
hang
inside
on.
Carl's
Hey,
Bar.
hang on a
We need
second.
VAR is currently
Where's VAR?
checking the raffle tickets. Okay, while VAR checks the situation here, we're going to go back
Wait, we
over
need
to...
VAR.
Oh
There's a
my
VAR
God, there's going to be a
situation
fight.
going on here.
Okay,
Please
there's going to be a
hold on.
fight. Go back over to Ellen Road while we sort this out quick. Kel, help me.
Half-time here at Ellen Road, and with a goal right at the end of the first half, it has gone in. Manchester City 1, Leeds 0. Michael Brown, how big was that goal at the end of the first half?
It was a massive goal. It was a massive walk from you. It was almost like the Gallagher brothers walking on stage as you walked to the camera.
Very, very happy and confident.
You're excited, aren't you?
Buzzing,
I
man.
know, it's great. You've danced down here. You took a while. How could I beat you down to pitchside
Well,
when I'm on commentary?
you know the stadium.
You must be relaxed. I do know the stadium.
played
a little
here.
bit. But what about that ending? I was speaking to Ali then, and I was sort of going, come on, last chance, push it. Joe in commentary. I'm going, come on, it's there for you now. Just don't let them settle here. Don't let them get inside. And it just comes across quickly. Ryan Shirky, a lovely little ball. Great from 8-0. He started to get into those positions. Semenyo's been waiting. He's on the goal strike again. We were put under pressure early, though. Full credit, Leeds United tested us out.
And full credit as well, I guess, to Leeds in the sense of, you know, out of the chances in the first half, that was maybe our first one. Leeds, unlucky maybe not to have scored. I can think of 3 or 4 chances they had. They have played well in that first half.
Yeah, the one-on-one was Aronson went across. Donnarumma, he stays big. Do you know when he's watching the flight of it and he's looking and going, right, and you see the focus and he's waiting for the touches and he knows full well, I want the goalkeeper to commit and then I'm going to try and dink it even though he's so big. But he stays big, he waits, then the touch, then he closes it down. So good at the timing of it, Kel, that he just gets in the right positions. The Calvert-Lewin chance.
Yeah.
That ball from the right-hand side was just about here, wasn't it, as we were here.
Yeah.
Whizzed across, right on top of that penalty spot. There might have been a foul with 2 hands on the back of Mark Gay
Earlier on.
initially in the build-up, which we would have asked questions for. But they put us under pressure. It was a different turnaround as well. We watched Rodri and Bernardo Silva either yard of the 6-yard box. Ruben Diaz wide, and we see Mark Gay wide, and that was the build-up and the set. And then we changed it because we knew that that's a risky one, which we hadn't seen before. We will see it again. But then we played out, we got up to the front a little bit quicker, away from that press. Then once we locked them in, the last 15 minutes of the first half, we were really good.
Our fans behind us have been in fine voice, as they always are at every away game. But as have the Leeds fans. How impressed were you the fact that City managed to weather the storm, stay calm, and impose their game as the first half went on?
Yeah, and you were put under pressure. You know, it was a great atmosphere, the start, the tempo and the belief. But you know what I want from this today, right? We've had some brilliant moments from myself and FG in front of these away supporters. I want you to be standing here at the end to witness this moment, as long as these are quick enough getting down, by the way.
Yeah,
so we can have some proper shots. Look at him laughing behind. So make sure you're here, right? If it's a Man City win, and then we can stand here and then look
enjoy this
and
behind us.
enjoy it. Kel, it's a big second half.
What do you want to see in the second half, Michael Brown?
A bit more possession with control, but we have to create chances. We can't just sit and wait, or this team will keep coming. Second half, they've been poor. We haven't been great.
Yeah.
Let's see how we get on.
Fantastic, Michael Brown. I'm loving sharing this.
City players are in the tunnel. Good timing. Michael Brown's now racing from the pitch side up to the commentary position. Actually, in fairness, it's not one of the bigger trips that you would make from sideline to commentary position. So I'm expecting him pretty shortly. He's quite a fit, sprightly young fella, Michael Brown. City players have made their way out onto the Ellen Road surface. And Antoine Semenyo is the goal-scoring hero at the moment. Lovely goal it was too. It came in a period of about, I would say, 15 minutes or thereabouts, where you just felt City were on top, moving the